يلا يا أصدقاء، مغامرتنا تبدأ دلوقتي.
Let's talk about teaching something that feels, well, almost impossible, like a sound that doesn't even exist in your own language. Today, we're going to tear down and rebuild a masterclass in teaching. It's a lesson plan for one of the absolute trickiest letters in the Arabic alphabet. And trust me, this isn't just about language. It's about seeing how truly brilliant instruction can make any complex idea just click, especially for little kids. Our roadmap for today is super simple, but really powerful. First, we're going to meet the letter itself. Then, we'll give it its voice by adding the essential building blocks of sound. After that, and this is the fun part, we'll see how learning gets supercharged through play. And finally, we'll look at the clever tricks used to make sure all this new knowledge actually sticks around for good. So, here it is, the letter Ain. And just looking at it, it seems simple enough, right? Just a couple of graceful curves. But the sound is what makes it so tough. It's this deep, guttural sound from way back in your throat that we just don't have in English. And that, right there, is the big puzzle this whole lesson is designed to solve. So yeah, how do you do it? How do you make a completely alien sound like Ain feel real and learnable to a 5-year-old? Well, the answer isn't just one thing. It's a whole approach, and it all starts with building a really, really solid foundation. And that's where we begin in Section 1, just meeting the letter Ain. Because before you can teach anything, you have to figure out what your students are bringing to the table. That's where something called a pre-assessment comes in. Now, the first thing to get is that this is not a scary test, not at all. It's more like a quick temperature check. You're just trying to see who in the room might already have a feel for the sound. This one little step is so crucial because it lets the teacher adjust the lesson on the fly, right from the very beginning. And the way they do it, it's just brilliant. The teacher holds up a picture, like an eye, which is Ain in Arabic, and just asks, "Do you hear that Ain sound?" And the kids, they just give a quick thumbs up or thumbs down. See, it's a game, not a quiz. It's fast, it's fun, and it gives the teacher that instant feedback they need. Now, with that baseline set, the real learning begins with this amazing multi-sensory attack. Look at these 3 steps: show, say, trace. Think about it. The students see the letter, they hear the sound, and they actually feel the shape by tracing it in the air. By hitting sight, hearing, and touch all at once, you're creating multiple pathways in the brain. It's an incredibly powerful way to make something stick. Okay, so the kids can now recognize the letter's shape and its basic sound. The next step is to give it a voice. In Section 2, we're adding the short vowels. This is where the letter really starts to talk. We kick things off with the fatha. That's the little dash you see right above the letter. All it does is add a short ah sound. So our silent Ain suddenly becomes ah. Listen. Ah. And watch what the lesson does immediately. It connects this new sound to actual meaning. We get Ain for eye and alam for flag. This is so important. That sound is no longer just some abstract noise. It's now a piece of a real word with a picture you can see in your head. And this is where the magic happens. Instead of just being told things, the kids are now asked to create. This brainstorming session is fantastic because it gets them digging through their own brains for connections. And that's what turns passive listening into real active learning. All right, vowel number 2 is the kasra. This time, you'll notice the dash goes below the letter. This little mark creates a short I sound. So ang now becomes a. Listen, a. And the example word here is inab, which means grapes. Now, this is a really smart move. By focusing on just one single, strong visual example, the lesson avoids overwhelming the kids. It forges a much stronger, more memorable link between that I sound and the word. So how do you really hammer that connection home? You use a chant, I inab. It's so clever. For young learners, rhythm and repetition are pure gold. It's like a shortcut that bypasses all the complex stuff and drills the sound right into their memory. And finally, we have our third vowel, the dammam. This one's that little curl, kind of like a tiny W, that sits on top. It creates a short oo sound, turning our letter into oo. Listen carefully. Ru. The anchor word for this sound is asfur, which is a sparrow. And just like before, we've got a concrete image that's now tied directly to this brand new sound, making it so much easier to remember. And you probably see the pattern by now, right? We seal the deal with another simple chant. Oo, oo, usfor. This rhythm introduced the sound, link it to a real word, and then lock it in with a chant. That's the simple but incredibly powerful engine that's driving this entire lesson. Okay, all the building blocks are in place, but now the lesson makes a really critical shift. We move away from the teacher just talking, and we dive into section 3, learning through play. This is where the knowledge goes from being something the kids have been told to something they actually get. Take this sorting game. You put the kids in small groups, give them a stack of picture cards, and their mission is to match each picture to the right vowel sound. It's hands-on, they have to work together, and it turns what could be a boring drill into a fun puzzle they have to solve as a team. Another amazing tool is the word wall. You can think of this as a giant living cheat sheet right there in the classroom. And the really clever detail here is the color coding for the vowels. It's a subtle visual cue, but it's so powerful for helping the brain organize and remember the different sounds. And what's great is this is an idea that works just as well with a digital matching game on a tablet. Which brings us to our final and maybe most important section, making it stick. I mean, all this amazing teaching doesn't mean much if the kids forget it all by next week. So how does this lesson check for understanding and make sure the knowledge is there to stay? Well, the answer is a really smart two-pronged attack. Throughout the lesson, there are these constant little checks, the formative ones. They're informal, like having kids hold up 1, 2, or 3 fingers for the vowel sound. This lets the teacher adjust in real time. Then, at the very end, there's a simple summative check, like a worksheet, to get one final snapshot of what everyone learned. One is like a GPS for the teacher during the journey, and the other is the final map of where everyone landed. So in the end, it all comes back to these 3 simple sounds, a, I, u. The absolute genius of this lesson plan is how it takes this one big, intimidating letter and just deconstructs it into these 3 manageable, bite-sized pieces. Through a smart mix of senses, play, and rhythm, it turns a huge challenge into something that's not just possible, but actually fun. When you really break it down, this is so much more than a lesson about an Arabic letter. It's a blueprint for how to teach almost anything. The formula's right there. Break it down, engage all the senses, and then reinforce it all through play. And that leaves you with a pretty big question, doesn't it? What's the most unteachable concept you can think of? And could this simple, elegant formula be the key to finally unlocking it?